Today I'm going to be telling you the story of how 5 years off made me a faster cyclist and how I went from this to this. Let's get it. Today I'm going to take you through how I went from getting dropped at national races to regularly coming top 10. And it wouldn't be a good video if I didn't take you along for a ride. So I'm going to tell you the 5 things that changed me in those 5 years to make me a better cyclist and a faster cyclist. Let's go. So today it's going to be a 6-hour ride, 4 hours at zone 2 and then 2 hours at zone 4, and it's going to be hard. Excuse my lack of team kit. It clashes a bit with the pink helmet, but you got to do what you got to do to stay warm. So, a bit of backstory about me. I started cycling when I was 11 and I raced all the way up until 18. Back then, there was no junior or under 23 racing. So I went straight into racing with adult women at 16, doing 50, 60 mile races. And I got spat a lot. So, when I turned 18 and got into med school, I decided, do you know what? I've done my time cycling and I'm gonna quit. So 5 years at med school, I didn't race, didn't even ride my bike, and I played rugby instead. Then when COVID came around in 2020 and an injured knee, I thought, oh, I'll dust my bike down. And here we are today, racing for a UCI Conti team. So let's get into how those 5 years off made me quicker. So we've just stopped for a snack and disaster struck early on in the ride and I crashed around like a particularly slippy corner, but I'm okay. I've just got a little bit of a, can you see? Little ripped me leg warmers. I think I'm bleeding a little bit underneath, but it's all right, we'll crack on. So the first thing that changed over those 5 years was I developed like a love for cycling, because when I was a kid, I didn't love it. Like I went and I raced and I enjoyed it, but I never watched any of the races. I never asked for anything for Christmas, like cycling related. Whereas now, like, I literally watch every race. I watch cycling YouTube, I read cycling books, like I'm obsessed. And I think that carries through into the way you race because you have so much more knowledge about like the history of cycling and things like that. So, as you may be able to tell, I'm no longer on a bike. That session was hard. And after 2 hours, I couldn't film anymore. So, I'm gonna do the rest of the video just going about my day-to-day life. And currently I'm just finished at the gym, about to head to work. So, let's get into the next thing. So over the 5 years I had off the bike, I was playing rugby, as I've mentioned, and I was going to the gym a lot. I was doing a lot of kind of like powerlifting moves, lots of squatting, deadlifting, bench pressing. I did a lot of upper body stuff. I might put a picture in of what I used to look like. I was definitely a bit chunkier. But I think that really, like, I really built up a lot of muscle and I built a good, strong foundation. So yeah, I guess it's kind of like how people do like bulk and cut cycles. Like I had a 5-year bulk, and then when I got leaner again when I started cycling, I still had all that muscle mass, which definitely helped me going into some races. So just finished the session, was hitting 1 minute efforts. As you can tell, I'm still quite out of breath. Moving on to the third thing that made me faster, it was definitely nutrition. Going to med school and learning about how the body metabolises fuel and uses it for energy really like made me understand the basics and really made me understand the mechanisms of why fueling is so important. And I think that's a big part of how I can push myself so hard in training and racing, as well as working a full-time job. The fourth thing that I think is really important that's made me a faster cyclist is that in those 5 years off, I did whatever I wanted. Like, I went out and drank all the time, I partied hard, I did lots of naughty things. And I think that means that now I don't feel like I'm missing out. I'm more than happy to go and not drink or just like go home early. That in turn makes me a fast cyclist because I can train more consistently. I'm not drinking. Yeah, that's number 4. Time for number 5.
So finishing off the day, lying on the sofa, chilling out. Actually, it's quite funny on from my last point because all my housemates have gone out to the pub, and I'm just here chilling, ready, recovering for my session tomorrow. So it's fine. It's fine. But moving on to my final point, which is that I just wasn't training right before. And over the 5 years off, I learned so much more about training philosophies, progressive overload, because when I was a youth training, literally I just used to do the sessions I enjoyed, which was basically all I used to do was 2040s. I used to do sets of 5 3 times, and that was it. And I think also the development of power meters and heart rate monitors and things like that means that I actually push myself now, whereas back then, I think without having any numbers to follow, I just used to I'd go hard, but probably whether I was actually pushing myself or not, probably wasn't. So that finishes the video, and how 5 years off made me a faster cyclist. It made me love the sport again. It gave me time off to go out, drink, and not take life so seriously. It taught me about good nutrition and good training philosophies. And what was the last one? And also getting strength training in. And those 5 things have made me a way faster cyclist. So if you're feeling a bit stale, not progressing, maybe you should just take 5 years off. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.